everyone. How you doing? Welcome to another exciting episode of Hibachi Talk. I'm Gordo the Tech Czar. It's great to have you here. I'm here with my good old buddy, Andrew,
Aloha.
the security guy. We're back talking about tech and all those wonderful things. Oh, there he is again. Mini Drew is in the house. I know, you still like calling him whatever that name is. So anyway, we gotta have some libations up here. Come up and sit down and grab a towel and join us, and we will continue in this interesting saga we have going. We have a super guest today. So her name is Sarah Kay. She's 15 years old. A techpreneur like you've never seen before. And she's going to be an awakening. And what she did, she got me thinking about the different generations that we have and how the different generations work together. So Andrew and I are going to talk a little bit about that and how that's all going to work. And then we have Zuri and Emily who are around helping us make sure that we don't mess up. And thank you, ladies, once again. Isn't it great? We got ladies in the house again taking care of us.
We need it.
We
trust
need
me.
it.
On our own, we never get anything
We
done.
need it. But before we do that, I like my segment. Got one tech job, and so we found another one. I found a great one yesterday, but I'll bring that for the next show.
Right on.
So anyway, we've got another got one tech job, and thank goodness these people are not in that business. But this is a really nice one. That's really out there doing their best.
I mean, come on, this is the height of laziness, man. Move the tree.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say they're unionized, but we'll just go down that road.
Maybe maybe it was a robot, and so it just steered it. Maybe you think it was human error?
I don't think a robot is that.
Come on,
stupid.
Man.
Anyway, there's our got one tech job segment today. So that's pretty amazing.
Is that in Hawaii?
No, but it very well could be. So anyway, we're sitting here. We're looking at the different generations, and I've talked about this before on the show. I mean, I have the majority of the staff or employees that I have at Paxa are in that millennial age group. Now, what about yours?
I had to pull this up because I couldn't recall it all. That's just they were born 65 to 80.
65 to 80. So
oh no, the millennials. I'm sorry, 81 to 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
81 to 2000. So they're in that group. And so I started doing some more research on it and so on. And if you realize that this is the first time in the history that we have multiple generations that go back essentially four generations that are working together.
Oh, in the workforce.
In the workforce. So you've got the millennials, you've got the baby boomers, which I fall within. You're a boomer.
I'm a boomer. I'm at 63, which is a year before it ended, I think.
You're a young boomer. I'm an old boomer. I'm the very
There's
old
lots
boomer.
of boomers.
Yeah, very old boomer. Then they got the one they call the silent generation, which were kind of like my parents, no pun intended, who are no longer living, so they're pretty silent right now. And my dad would love me for saying that. So that they just. But you got the silent generation, and these people are still working too. So, yeah, so you've got this really interesting blend of people that are in there.
I don't have that. I'll have just they said traditionalists.
Yeah.
What do you have? They're from the post-war. Oh, 33.
Post-war, yeah. So I think
the war
Zuri,
generation.
I may have given you a drawing that showed the various generation gaps.
Can it
and so
come
on.
up?
And so maybe you can pop that up and kind of give us a sense of what it looks like. But it's interesting. It's really an interesting set of I call them juxtapositions, because when you start reading what the expectations were of those various generations. Oh, here it is right there. You get to see the expectations of what those various generations are like.
Okay.
I mean, and I like the term the greatest generation, because World War II was pretty an amazing time in our history. And to be candid with you, when my father was in the British 8th Army, so he was a Second World War raised. Sure. Military, whatever. When he raised us, his whole concept was we were just raised to be fighting in World War III. He didn't believe there would be anything but war going forward.
Well, they had known so much of it for so many years, right?
They had
yeah, exactly.
World War II. He had nothing else. The concept was World War III would come,
lit off, and
he'd have three boys, and 3 boys would be out fighting in World War III. So it's a really kind of a different kind of mindset that he had about what we'd be doing today versus what he thought we'd be doing in the.
He never thought all this prosperity would happen.
No, not
that
at
we
all.
fought for, right?
That we fought for. Never had that. Wasn't even in there. So it's an interesting expectation that the different generations have. Now you've got something up here that talks about from a working perspective or expectations of the various groups.
A few of those, and just some of the different influencers. On the traditionalists, it was the war, as you talked about. But then the boomers had a little bit of a rejecting some of that. They had the Vietnam War, they had the sexual revolution, they had things like that. Gen X was kind of influenced by Watergate, energy crisis. Remember the gas lines like in the 70s? Remember when there was
I do not remember the gas lines because I was living in Canada at the time, and we were making our own gas.
Oh, I see.
So,
So
but the
you
Americans,
had
the Americans were coming across the border
to get yours?
to get the gas.
Wow.
So, but I remember it on television.
I know they were. My father had a furniture manufacturing facility, and they had gone to making all the, foul wood products, and these were made out of plastic. And so then they would paint them, right, so that they look like wood grain. And that whole industry took a huge hit because of that manufacturing of those plastics. I remember it was a huge deal for them. I was a little kid, but I remember him griping about it.
I remember when I moved here, that had already passed, but I'd met a gentleman that were developing a development in Makaha. And that Makaha development literally failed because of the gasoline crisis.
Wow.
Because then there was people were saying, I can't buy out here because I don't know what the future of fuel is going to be.
Yeah, it was an oil embargo, in the 70s,
it
right?
was just pretty amazing. So coming back to work, and so I'm thinking about, like, you and I talk this all the time. It's like, how was your 80-hour week and all this kind of stuff? And you start looking at baby boomers when it comes to it's like, if you look at our age, it's like, I always thought of work as an exciting adventure. To me it is.
That's why I do it.
Yeah, that's why we took on this very high-paying job. Because it's
the money's just rolling in.
Rolling in, I know, and I thank all the guests for watching. But all of that it's exciting for us, and we're entitled to do that. But then you start asking the millennials, well, what's work for you? What is it like? And you get, well, we're all the same. Well, no, I don't think you are, but we're all the same. We'll challenge. Well, I don't need to be challenged that much. And then also, why am I doing this? There's a lot of that, like, help me understand why I'm doing this. Now, once you understand that and you explain that to them, then they'll go for it, gangbusters. But there's an expectation on their part. You got to explain to me, why am I doing this?
Yeah, it has to be meaningful.
What's the outcome? It has to be meaningful. Those kinds of things.
Yeah, I've got some core values here, and it's interesting how ours, we had personal gratification back in the boomers. We had equal right, equal opportunity, some of these sort of characteristics, but you get over on their side and they list some more of these sort of core values, diversity, extreme fun, but highly tolerant, also highly competitive, self-confidence, sociability. So a lot of these, we're a little more closed in and they're a little more open. And we're motivated, but they're motivated, but by different things.
Yeah, and in a different way. Yeah. And so now when we have Sarah come on, we're going to get the next generation,
which is
this is a very self-motivated individual. So
sure.
Interesting. Start to give me a concept of, like, and Sarah's in my grandchildren's age group too. So I've got that happening at the same time.
I thought I was productive till I talked to her earlier.
Yeah,
now I'm realizing I'm way behind the curve.
I'm exhausted because of her. But then we get into communications, which is another thing, and we talked about that in tech. Later on we'll have your segment, texting and how.
Oh yeah, my segment. I'm ruling that segment.
Yeah, 5 to 1. So anyway, so we've got that happening. But you think back, we think back to my parents' age, so the veterans kind of thing. It was all written, right? That was a memo. It was written. It wasn't on a computer.
Oh,
it was handwritten.
It was in triplicate and piled and filed and saved and whatever.
All kinds of stuff. Very formal, kind of, like,
and
cumbersome. I remember words like Ultimo and all things like that. But then we got to ours, and it became more of this personal thing, right? We do a lot of stuff talking to each other. We pick up the phone, kind of call. Now we've overlapped into the next stage, and we were in the tech business, so we overlap perhaps more than the others. But now you get with the millennials, it's direct, right? It's immediate. It's texted.
And you didn't respond to me, and they'll hate you or something. Kick you out of their world.
Boom, 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 boom. It's like, how many text messages did you do today? Oh, 287. And they're doing it with like 9 or 10 different people at one same time.
Well, I was reading that and like Snapchat, some of these other things have gotten more popular with them too, and those are, like, I guess if you read it, just disappears, right? So like, it's fleeting conversation. They don't even want it to be, like, get it now, then it's gone, and we'll move on to the next. And literally, it's gone. So that's kind of interesting.
So now, what's going to happen when the next one comes along? I mean, what's it going to be?
Just like that, where they go by just the mind.
The
brainwaves, maybe.
Microsoft HoloLens coming out in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's going to be kind of thing. So again, so we got all these different communications methodologies that we grew up with, and now we're working in a company that's got these 4 or 5 generations, and you've got a Gen Xer or a millennial working with a boomer who maybe has a senior exec that's the one before, and this
traditionalist
sends out a memo, and they go, "What memo?"
Well, I sent it out on paper. They're like, no, they don't read paper.
Yeah, and we don't even have mail.
It's not in my email.
It's not in my email.
It doesn't exist.
So it's really, that's different. So, and then they get into the whole reward system, and I got into, start thinking about, rewards. I mean, for my generation, it was, if you did a great job, there may be some point along where you'd get a bonus or something in your paycheck or a little something like that. But it was never expected. It was like, oh, gee, I got a bonus and so on. Now what I'm finding out, if you're in the millennials, it's like, how come I got the bonus this month? I finished the work 3 months ago. Why didn't I get it then? Right? So then it's not that instant gratification, right?
They're very aware of that disjuncture in the reward from when they work with them. And they're aware of it, and they'll point it out.
Yeah.
Just like you said.
Just like so you're going like, well, what's wrong? I think I was doing everything right, but guess you are, but you aren't.
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
It's a weird.
And that they're aware of it. I mean, they're like. They know, they'll point out to you, your management's not very good because I did all that work before and you just rewarded me 3 months later. How am I supposed to feel good about what I did?
Yeah.
Like it's not tied together.
And
they'll tell you that, and you're expected to fix it. Like you're the boss or you're the manager, right?
Yeah, aren't you the one in charge? Oh, and by the way, why am I not in charge? I'm using the millennial.
Yeah,
I've been on this job 6 months. How come I'm not the vice president?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we give titles out to everybody.
How long does it take to move up this corporate ladder?
Amazing. Yeah, they do like to move quick.
So I'm not picking on you guys, please. I love you.
Yeah, so work ethics, interesting. So between the boomers, driven, workaholic, 60-hour work weeks, long hours to establish self-worth and work identity.
Yep.
And then I go down to the millennials, and it's ambitious, what's next, multitasking, tenacity, and entrepreneurial.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, so they got those things, and then we throw in the veterans who are like, no news is good news. I've been with the same company for 35 years.
Yeah,
why do you ever job hop? Though, I can't believe you're not part of the union. All of those kinds of things.
And this one points out age equals seniority, company first, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Now, please, I'm older and I am the senior guy at the company.
But millennials could care less how old you are.
Yes, just how it happened. So, there's that. And then there's the work-family experience, right? How's that work-family? Family first. I started using that phrase after I started working with the millennials because I started to realize that really is an important part. Family is first. And part of it is because they're now taking care of older generations
in the home.
At the home, which we essentially never had to do because our parents never lived that long. They never lived that long that they had to be taken care of. So now they're into this group where you've got parents that are in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and they're still at home. They're still relatively functional. You're trying to keep them from doing the painting on the house and getting on the ladder, and they're 85 years old. I have friends that have family members like that. Oh, my dad was on the ladder last week. Well, he's 85 years old. What was he doing? He was cleaning out the rain gutters. I mean,
because he's bored, or
yes, no, you can't go up on the ladder. So they've got to deal with that as well. So family is first for them, and what you've got to take care of. And we have to think about that when they're working with you.
Sure, because it's not an 8 to 4. They're as long as it's more like as long as you get your work done, everything else has got to flow. But then there's workplace perceptions. So if the boss is a traditionalist or a boomer, and they're 8 to 4, and it appears, and he's doing probably 7 to 8 or whatever, and he's going 15 hours a day because he thinks he should, and they're getting their work done, but they're not around. He doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that they can also do their work from home
or from their phone.
Yeah, from their phone or from their parents' house.
Yeah.
I mean, they can literally be there at the parents' house, taking care of. So that work life, that work life balancing thing that goes on there. So this is really, I think, it's the fun part of being what we're doing now. We're in an industry that has these very focused millennials and such, but then we've got business operations that are totally, not documented.
Oh, yeah.
HR just loves you, right? Can you see your policy and procedure on that? Well, I got a policy, but I don't exactly know where the procedure is.
Isn't there software for the procedure?
I don't know what's going on that. anyway, it's been an interesting, talk about the millennials and the, the different generations and so on. We'll talk about it some more. But we're gonna have Sarah come up here. We're gonna get Angus off the beach.
Right on.
And get him up here. And so we're gonna take a short commercial break, and we'll see you back here in just a couple of minutes. And see you in a bit.
Hi, I'm Ethan Allen. I host Likeable Science on Think Tech Hawaii. And I do this because I care about science literacy in Hawaii. I want to spread the understanding that science is a vital and interesting part of everyone's life. I want to make sure the broadest possible spectrum of people understand the beauty and the value of science and realize that science plays out each and every day of their lives. I want you to understand that science is fun. So we bring onto this show each week guests who are scientists, from astronomers to zoologists, and we talk about what they do and how they do it. But most importantly, we talk about why you should care about their work, why you should see that their work has value and impact on your life. So I hope you'll join us Fridays, 1 p.m. here on Think Tech Hawaii. You can watch us via live stream. You can watch us recorded on Olelo, and you can see us each week. We hope you'll join us.
Aloha, I'm Hunter Hevelin, host of Sustainable Hawaii here at Think Tech Hawaii. You can tune in every week on Thursday at 2 p.m. to see interviews with sustainability professionals from around the state and even further abroad, learning about activities with water management, food security, waste management, and a whole host of other fascinating opportunities to get engaged with making a greener island. So if you're interested in making the transition from consuming individuals to communities of producers, check us out every Thursday.
Aloha, my name is Miley Scarpino, and I'm the host of the Empower Hour. If you're interested in health, nutrition, fitness, here on the island of Oahu, want to learn more about places to train at or different trainers available, then watch my show on Fridays at 3. We have a great time, and I hope that you'll come join us. Much aloha. Now go get swole.
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a senator from the Big Island and ER physician. Every other Tuesday, I get to host a show here on the Think Tech program about healthcare. We call it Healthcare in Hawaii. It's really enjoyable for me to bring other healthcare leaders from around the state to talk about our pressing issues. Hawaii has long been the health state, but we need to keep up the momentum, the inertia, and with your help and with your participation, we can come and share all of the big issues that are pressing day to day. Thanks for joining us every Tuesday, alternating weeks from 2 to 2:45.
Aloha, I'm Keli'i Akina, president of the Grassroot Institute and host on Ehana Kako, a weekly program on the Think Tech Hawaii broadcast network. Ehana Kako means let's work together. Think of the sad alternative, let's not work together. Here in Hawaii, with all of our diversity and the richness of the people, it's important for us to come together around issues on the basis of what's right and what's good and what's going to serve the common good. And that's what we try to do at Ehana Kako. Every week we interview movers and shakers, people in government, business, and other sectors of society to talk about how to create together a better government, economy, a better world here in Hawaii that can bless the rest of the world. I thank you for your attention to Think Tech Hawaii, and we look forward to seeing you every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. on the Think Tech Hawaii broadcast network. We're Ehana Kako, and we wish you well. Aloha.
All right, aloha. Welcome back to Hibachi Talk. We hunted Angus up, and he's going to have a little something for us, always a little tech and a little joke. Angus, what's up today, buddy?
How you doing there, Drew?
Very well,
Good
man.
to see you this week. It's been a smashing week. We got a real sweet loss here today. Let's wait to hear Sarah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's terrific. Hey, Drew, I got a wee Scottish joke for you, like I do every week, you know.
Let's have it.
You know, what happened when the Loch Ness Monster ate a Scotsman?
What?
Oh, no, wait. I got it all wrong. What happened when the Loch Ness Monster ate a Scotsman comedian?
What?
He felt funny.
Oh.
Anyway, it was a really silly one. Anyway, Andrew, my tech feature of the week, and I keep talking about what's coming up with Windows and all that really neat stuff. But you know, this new product that's coming up at the end of the year is called Continuum for Windows. It's a very featured Windows 10 application that will enable smartphones and handsets to act as a tiny, fully featured PC. And all the work that you and external peripherals like keyboards and mice and displays will all work off of it. So think of it, Drew. You can walk around and look at me wee body here. I can walk around with my wee mobile phone. I can then turn it into a full-blown PC with the Windows 10 Continuum. It's really going to be really cool. And it's coming out in the 4th quarter of the year. So I'm looking forward to that. The only problem I have, you know what the problem with the Scots and what we have? You got to buy another device. You got to spend more of my money. But it's okay. I'm going to do it this time. So I'm going to look for that. Look for a Continuum for a Windows phone coming out in the 4th quarter of next year. So, and remember, aloha, and let your wind gag free wherever you be. Back to you, Drew.
All right. Right on, Angus. So Continuum. Check that out. I was reading about the other day. We're going to be able to actually, I think, take that mobile device and get a lot more functionality out of it. Driving it basically like a PC by just plugging it in to monitor.
Oops, right here.
So Angus, thanks a lot. We're going to welcome Sarah on stage today. She's an amazing young lady, and we're going to learn a lot about what this new Generation Z, I believe, is up to.
So,
welcome.
Sarah, how are you doing, young lady?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. So nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
I mean, you make me feel so tall. So how old are you?
15.
15 years old. 15. And where are you going to school?
Punahou.
Punahou. Wow. 15 years old, going to Punahou. Do you believe you're a Gen Z?
Yep.
Have they called you a Gen Z at school yet?
No, because pretty much everyone, except for
they're
the teachers.
all the
but
same age?
Yeah.
The teachers are boomers, or are they
Well, no, I mean, we have some of the millennials.
some of the millennials in there? Okay. Do you interact different with them than you would with the older ones?
Kind of.
Kind of. Oh, okay. You know what it is. So you're a very interesting lady. So you're a Mensa.
Yeah.
A Mensa. You know.
But she didn't just start there.
No, but I mean, and you. How old when you took the test to become a Mensa?
14.
So tell me the story on that. How'd that work?
So I just finished 8th grade, and it was like the first week of June, right before summer school.
Uh-huh.
And my mom told me about this thing called Mensa, and she's like, oh yeah, they do like kind of puzzles and stuff, and I think you would like it. And she's like, but you can only take the test like once, because otherwise, if you don't get in the first time, you have to take a bunch of other things. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's go for it. You know, high school, YOLO. Let's just do it. And so she took me there, and we were filling out all the forms, and there were like 3 other applicants there, and they kind of all thought that my mom was the one who was doing it, and I was just kind of there as like a little good luck, you know. And then she was just like, okay, I'll pick you up later, you know, bye. And I'm like, okay. And then she just like left, and they were all just like, wait, what? Like, oh.
So you're sitting there with some rather adult type individuals, and there you are at 14 to take the test. Or
Yeah.
tests. You have to take a couple of tests, right?
There are 2. And there was like one of them was a PhD student, because like they were doing like little icebreakers, like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I just entered high school.
Wow.
Oh, I just gotta love it.
At 14.
At age 14.
And so and you're in what school?
Punahou.
And you've been there how long?
About 4 years.
Right on.
So she's been there 4
So
years.
what kind of classes do you take to get to Mensa is what I want to know. They didn't teach that when I was growing up. So what are you studying?
Well, I just like doing a lot of puzzles from like really young. Jigsaw puzzles, brain teasers, all kinds of things. When we had to go to camp, I actually brought like several Sudoku books and brain teasers just to keep me up at night, because I couldn't really sleep too well there.
I see.
So you're at school. You're doing these things, but you're also an entrepreneur, right? You have a number of businesses.
Yeah.
Z has a number of businesses.
At 14.
At age, no, she's 15 now. She's
15, I'm
she's
sorry.
matured. She's an experienced business lady.
That's right.
So what are some of the businesses you got? So walk us through some of the ones you've got.
Well, there was one that I kind of started when I was 12 in 7th grade. Now the official name, I guess, is Ski Chains.
Ski chains. Okay.
So basically, it's just keychains, and they're personalized.
Okay.
So we were doing this business simulation in school, and everyone was doing just like baked goods and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I can't really bake, but I can draw. And then I thought, hey, why not make like personalized keychains? So it's like, do you have a favorite football team or mascot or character from anything, you know? Then just tell me, like, prepay, make an order, and then I'll make it for you.
So I know, and your mother's a really great baker right here, right? Yeah. So you made this. Now you said something a minute ago. So they pay that. So you have an online business that supports this.
Well, now we're trying to go a little more professional. Like, I'm trying to get some of my friends to come on board with this idea, and we're going to set up a store on Etsy and Store Envy. We're still trying to deciding like how are we going to get it all together.
And our end goal is actually to have a booth at the anime convention called KawaiiCon at the Artist Alley. So it'll be like our live selling market.
Your live selling market. So you're getting into e-commerce. I just love this. Getting into e-commerce, you got this live selling market, you're going to start your selling market, and then you're going to move forward with that. So that's one of your business endeavors. Then you have another one. And I don't even know how to name this one. It's such a unique model you put together to generate money. So, hey, so more students should be watching this. So tell me about this one.
Well, in the summer, you don't really have too much to do if you're like having to just sit around, do nothing. So I figured, why not just make some money on the side? And so I was trying like all of these different survey stuff where it's just like, oh yeah, you can get paid a couple dollars. And it was okay. I mean, considering I didn't have any job or anything. So, and then I found this one thing, this like—
I don't have a job. You're killing me, man. Okay, go ahead.
And I found like this app, and it was basically like you watch trailers for videos and stuff, but like the app doesn't know whether you're actually watching it or if it's just being on loop. And so I figured, okay, why not? And just had a couple devices running it, and it gets points, and then you exchange it for like gift cards and money. And it's a little slow, but I mean, it works. And I have like $300 in my PayPal account now. So.
Can you believe it? That's awesome.
So you've took like old mobile phones or old computers or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, as Apple releases more products like iPhone 6, my mom's
Right.
like, okay, here, have this old iPhone 4. I don't need it anymore. Oh, while you're at it, here's this like really old iPad that can like barely run it, but it still works and it's compatible and it earns money. And so I just have to tap it when it says, are you still watching, to make sure that I'm still alive. And
Right.
yeah, it just continues on. It's daily business.
And daily business.
Isn't that something? And $300 for like, are they reviewing advertising, reviewing movie trailers, all kinds of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, they have movie trailers, so in a way it's kind of like how I keep up to date with like, oh, what should I be looking out for?
Oh, I see. What's coming next, huh? Interesting. Was it an online? How'd you find that?
I mean, I checked like different forums like Reddit and stuff, and they mentioned this one, and I figured, hey, might as well try it. And so
With old devices and just just let them run, and so you can have 3 or 4 going at a time. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're clocking some money.
And you just come
do.
walk in the room every once in a while. and
That's
hit the
so
button.
interesting.
You're absolutely just.
So
killing me.
where does the need? What are you doing with the money when you get? Are you saving, or what's your idea about the earnings that you have? What are you going to do with those?
Well, part of it is for saving. Like, I like to invest in some things too.
Okay.
Like, when I make my keychains, I like to buy everything in bulk because then I'm like making them for like 20 cents. So it's a pretty
Wow.
good deal.
What do you sell them for? Does it depend on how much artwork you put into it or time?
Yeah, I mean, depending on size, maybe like 1 to 2, maybe.
Dollars
Yeah.
from a 20-cent investment
Yeah.
and your time.
How
How do you value your
I
time?
like the margins on that.
I mean, I can like make a lot of them in a short amount of time because
Okay.
it's not just putting one in a laminator sheet. I can probably like squeeze in about 8. If I
Oh,
want.
I see.
And then also I found this thing called Kiva, so I can actually kind of give loans to people like in Africa or and such. And
Microloans.
Yeah,
So you're doing
microloans.
microloan programs with money she's making from online ad reviews.
Wait. You never told me about this one. So you're doing
Microloans.
You're doing microloans?
Yeah,
I remember talking to your mother about this. So you're doing microloans. That is just incredible.
At 14. So this is Gen Z. I mean, they're going to give a little, right? They're going to give a little more back to the world.
I'm really worried about the future of my job now. I just don't know.
Oh,
I
it's
don't-
over.
I'm
CIO,
toast.
brother.
Yeah, career is over.
Career is over.
Yeah, I'm just toast. I'm just toast. So okay, and you're still going to school, right? You're doing all the school. Now, so what? I know you do some other. So you have some other interests that you're involved in. And what are those?
Well, I discovered that I really enjoy movie making because I've been taking this elective called digital video, and I've just been like opened up to all kinds of new opportunities. Like, I really like doing videography. I'm looking into stop motion animation, but at the same time, I also really love editing things or like re-editing it. So taking something that already exists and making it look completely different.
Oh, is Zuri listening?
Wow.
Did you hear that?
Wow.
Zuri needs some
Ladies,
help in
look at this.
the
We should-
editing room
Oh yeah,
back there.
yeah, right. We got a little mentoring.
I'm sure Emily and
opportunity
Zuri
here.
can
You
show
come
you a
in
little
here
bit
and
about
show-
what it's like on the other side of the lens here when we're done.
That's right. Zuri goes, oh yeah. So I can go back, and you are still going to school, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
good.
amazing.
So
And you have good grades, I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I can't
I
imagine.
can't
You know,
imagine.
barely. I'm a 2.0. I was a 2.0. No, I was 2.1. I got to give myself more credit than that. It led me to play in the football team. So then you also have an interesting new hobby you picked up, right? Something to do with swords.
Oh yeah, so It's really weird, but the one sport that actually clicks with me is fencing. Like, I've tried soccer, tennis, swimming, and all of it, like, go to a certain point, and it's like, I don't really think I can do this, or I sprained my ankle from tripping over a tennis ball. And then they just announced that there is a fencing club starting, and I'm like, oh, fencing. And I heard that MIT actually has this, like, pirate diploma, so, like, if you do, like, if you complete, like, a fencing course, an archery course, and a couple others, you can get your own pirate diploma.
Oh,
so I figured-
That's awesome.
You're awesome. Okay, okay, we gotta go take a little break right now. So we gotta pay some bills. We thank you so much for listening to this show, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Grab yourself a refresh on your libation. We'll be back in just a minute, and Sarah says she has a surprise for us. Okay, thanks.
Inspired by an ancient culture, classical Chinese dance, vigorous physicality, timeless stories, 5,000 years of Chinese music and dance. Shen Yun presents authentic Chinese culture. Coming to Blaisdell Concert Hall, May 8th and 9th. Tickets at shenyun.com or call 808-792-3919.
Ted Ralston, folks, host of our show at Think Tech Hawaii called Where the Road Leads, where we talk about technology influencing the future of Hawaii. Technology, of course, is the art of solving problems. We always bring in interesting and informed guests who can see from different perspectives and different points of view how that future might unfold and how technology can assist us in getting there. So once again, join us 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Fridays. Ted Ralston, your host. And please, if you have ideas that you'd like us to address on this show or folks who you think should be on it, let us know.
Aloha, Yappers. This is your host, Kingsley, for the Yap Show. Every Friday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch us here live, Think Tech Hawaii, and then later on we upload to our YouTube channel. We talk about youth issues, policies, youth programs, and how to transition yourself into adulthood.
But this was like a sign, I guess. Hey, life's like, hey, right. Now's your chance to go back to school, which I'm doing.
Catch us here again live, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Aloha.
Aloha, and how you doing? Welcome back to Hibachi Talk. We are here with Sarah Kay, men's entrepreneur extraordinaire, Gen Z. I'm exhausted of all the jobs. We have a little surprise sitting here on the table that she's going to walk us through that she's very much involved with. But first, we got to do our segment. We got Uncle Drew here. We have to have him. Got one.
This isn't real exciting
job.
thus far.
You got one text job. So we have to see if he knows what this text means. But you have to tell me whether or not he knows what that means. So do you think he'll know that? And we got a big hint up in the upper left-hand corner.
I mean, the hint seems like it will be really helpful. So.
Yeah, okay, so she thinks you got it, bud. There you go. What is it?
Crack my...
You're getting warm.
I don't know. What's the U? I don't know.
All right. Well, okay, it's now 6-1. Crack me up.
Oh, crack me up.
Yeah, see? My goodness.
Thanks for having faith in me. No one else has voted for me to know anything
no
yet.
one's had faith in him. Anyway,
so she got another point. She knew it.
She knew it.
It's like 6 to 7 to 1. I've only got 1 point so far out of like a month.
Yeah. Anyway, so what do we have?
Crack me up.
So in addition to all the other things that you do, you're part of the robotics team, right? At Punahou. So tell us what we have here.
So this was made, it's a Mindstorm EV3. It's a snake. And the cool thing about this one is that it can actually be remote controlled.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Oh, he dances.
Yeah, and...
Oh.
Ta-da!
Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. It's keychains, and it says Hibachi Talk. Got Hibachi Talk keychains on this. How's this? Oh, thanks. Is that cool? That is so cool. Oh, that's awesome.
So these are some of the ones that you make your cup.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Thank you. Are those for us?
Yeah, you guys get
There's
those.
2 of them.
Oh, very
Thank
nice.
you. That was
Thank
a nice
you so much.
Nobody ever brings us anything.
So I'm going to shift it just a little bit so it's not blocking your face.
Okay.
Your pretty
There we go.
face, okay? So
Wow.
now it's blocking your face. So what we'll do is why don't we move this to the floor? So because we don't want to not
Can we
see.
put it out here somewhere?
How's that? Yeah. Oh, perfect. Oh, look. It's roaring at the audience. So tell us about robotics.
Yeah.
How
how'd
you got
get into
this.
that?
Well, I just kind of like wanted to build robots and just kind of like make things, I guess. Well, my mom kind of showed me like, oh, there's this thing called robotics out there, which was based off of the Lego, and at the time like they had like the Mindstorm, but it was kind of an older version of this.
Okay.
And so she took me to see the robotics manager at Punahou, Mr. Dangler, and we just kind of hit it off from there. I just got to see all of these different creations that were huge because they kind of go up different levels, and now I'm actually competing at those levels.
Wow.
And it's amazing because I've gone from like these plastic parts to actual like metal parts with having to do with screwing things in, doing 3D printing, and it's really huge now.
So you're actually manufacturing the robot per se.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find your own materials, metal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's a pretty male-dominated competition, right? How many females are there that are involved in the robotics?
Well, there's been more lately compared to like when I was first started in 6th grade at Punahou. The robotics team was 9-to-1 of 9 guys and 1 girl, me being that 1 girl.
Oh,
wow. 90%.
So, yeah, 90%. That's pretty amazing. So now your role on the robotics team, what have been your roles? What has been your job in what you've been working on?
Well, in this past competition, we kind of only had 3 members. It was kind of a small group because we all were just new to the new competition called First Tech Challenge, FTC, which is for high school students. And so we all of us did something. We did everything. We all like built the robot together, programmed it together, because that way we could see what we kind of specialized in and what we wanted to work on more.
Okay, and what is there a
Interesting, I like that.
particular specialty that you like more than the other?
I really like the programming part because it's kind of hard having to screw it all in, and I had a bad habit of forcing it sometimes, and I didn't realize it, and then it's like, oh, there's too much friction and all because it wouldn't run, and just trying to figure out how to troubleshoot it.
Wow. So what kind of coding does it run on, the ones that you're talking about? What kind of code do you write?
So they all use this program called LabVIEW. It's kind of like a visual drag and drop kind of program, so it's a little easier to see like where you've gone wrong in the program or why it's not running. But the thing with this, like robotics now, is it's not so much of the program, but more of like how the robot is built and whether or not there's like a problem with the motor or something, or whether one screw got loose, because that actually can make the whole thing fall apart.
Wow. Is the programming for turning, forward, back, is you have to program all of that into it to tell it what to do, how you're going to want it to act? Okay.
Yeah, for the competition, for like the first 30 seconds, it's like an autonomous mode, so it's just a pre-programmed thing that the robot will just go and run. And then for the remaining part of the competition, it's like a remote control kind of thing. So there's actually one thing with our first round in the competition is that we had an alliance, so a partner for the competition, and we were just strategizing, okay, what can your robot do? Oh, it can do this, and figuring out, like, okay, let's do this. And we all turned it on, and we weren't really frustrated by what happened, but more of what didn't happen, because the robot just kind of just stood there and did nothing.
Oh.
Like, there were 3 robots that did nothing, and then one that was just kind of going around and doing whatever.
And they were all supposed to be in their autonomous mode when they first started, and that was autonomy of just standing still.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the chosen mode, I'm guessing. It's just it's just what they did. Just what happened.
Now that'd be fun to rate the call.
Well, demos, right? We have to demo things in my world all the time. Gordo's familiar with when you have to demo something for a customer, and that can always be when you have some of the problems that you've never had before, ever experienced before. So you're learning a lot through a competition like that, with especially something you hand built yourself. That's probably doesn't have the durability testing and a lot of that kind of stuff that you would like to do on something before you show it to people. So how'd you feel when yours didn't move?
Well, it was like the whole thing was a huge learning experience. Like I think we learned the most from the actual competition, because we had to actually make a lot of changes with our robot, like within the period of the competition.
Oh.
And yeah, I think we definitely learned how the whole mechanics of the system worked, because there's a huge difference between them telling you, oh, this is going to be like it, and then actually experiencing it. It's like, oh, that's why it's not running and stuff.
Great. And you're going to schedule it again this year? You're going to do another robot, a different one? Do you guys make the one you had better? What's the goal with the competition?
Well, next fall is going to be like the building session for the competition, and so I guess we're kind of hoping maybe to get like a bigger group, because it's kind of hard to have like just a 3-people group. and maybe be a little more organized and such. I mean, it was our first time, so we were just trying to figure out, okay, how does this work? Does this go there, or how do we get this to stay, or why isn't this working? And
Sure. And were you a freshman, or I guess
yeah, I'm
so?
still a
Yeah.
freshman.
So you were a freshman. So that's your first time, freshman year, involved in robotics. That's just amazing. So the first time out, you expect to learn a lot. Are you recruiting other people? Do you have to go like your classmates, or can you get a senior on your team, or how's that work?
I think for the putting together a team, it's just you find a group of people who are interested, you form a team.
Oh, so it doesn't. Okay, gotcha.
Doesn't matter.
Why not?
So and I'm encouraged to see that there's more females getting involved in that. So that we talk about this,
Yeah.
you know, that there's such a limited number of females that get into the tech business and the entrepreneur business, and so it's good to see that that's happening. So where do you see yourself going in the future? I heard you say MIT. Is that sort of like on your radar screen, or what's your thought?
It is, but there's so many different colleges. I honestly have no idea where exactly right now. I'm still open to just pretty much anything. I mean, my mom took me to the college fair 2 weeks ago, and it was just amazing. Just seeing all the different places that I can go and basically what I'm going to go towards.
Right.
So yeah, I'm pretty much still open.
Are you looking to be you say you're an engineer? Is there a particular focus? I mean, at 15, I could barely figure out what I wanted to do the next day, let alone in my future. So what about you?
Not really too sure. I mean, I do see myself going in kind of the robotics, computer science area.
Okay.
Maybe in the gaming app development.
Okay.
I'm hoping to be able to work from home someday. I think it'd just be kind of nice for some days, just chilling in your PJs, going to work.
Nice. That's the Generation Z.
Chilling in your PJs,
Yeah.
just going to work.
I love it. Generation Z is going to work from home. I think she just said it.
We got to write that down. This is
Well,
a classic.
I mean, if she goes in computer science, there's no reason why you can't be utterly remote,
Right.
and do all of your
True.
work. And
True.
I mean, you don't have to buy a suit and go to work. You just wear your PJs. I love it.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So, we're running up a little bit getting close to the end, but I want to add a little story. And I hope people can get their young adults. I don't want to say children because you're no longer children at 14 anymore. But young adults
She got
should be just
five businesses
as
already.
motivated as this young lady is. Sarah, you're just
Inspiring.
refreshing. You're inspiring. You got me wanting to work harder. So I hope we can get the word out on this show because you're going to be in our top 10 so far.
Thank you.
So it's just cool. So I think I want to encourage that. I mean, this is a young entrepreneur female. She's really focused, and obviously having a lot of fun with your life and so on. It's really good.
Yeah, and
so
I
is there
hope-
any message you want to send to anybody out there, out of your peers before we head off?
Well, just, don't be afraid to take risks. I mean, it may seem really intimidating, and you're probably going to have no idea what's going on half the time. I mean, I had no idea what a chassis was for the robotics for pretty much half the tournament, then someone finally actually told me.
All right.
But it's just kind of go with the flow and, just keep going.
Just keep going. Awesome. Can you make the robot do anything else without jumping off the table? Look at that. How's that?
Yeah, roar.
Okay. So anyway, we're looking at the robot as we're heading out of here. I want to thank you all again for spending a great 45 minutes with us here at Hibachi Talk. Now, please follow us on YouTube. Please check us out on our Twitter account, our Facebook account, all of those kinds of things. And hibachitalk.com gives you the link to where you need to go to get a hold of us. Again, thanks very much. Aloha, and remember, how you doing?
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a senator from the Big Island. I work in the ER there. But on Tuesday afternoons, I get to come and spend 45 minutes to an hour with Jay Fidel and the Think Tech staff. They're terrific professionals. They help us to bring some of the leading cutting-edge topics here across our state.
Hibachi Talk.
Yeah, it's from us. It's
So
your
you
cup,
get to
your
take that
honorary
away.
cup.